Alright, JDs and gentlemen, welcome back. Good to have you here. This video has been a year in the making, and I'm excited to get it out of the way finally. If you want to do your own $1-a-day project like this, I definitely would recommend doing so on Coinbase or Kraken. I have referral links in my link tree that I will leave the QR code for up throughout the entirety of the video for you to scan at any time. I'm not sponsored by Coinbase, nor am I sponsored by Kraken. I am, however, sponsored by Etasha Coffee, and I'm not going to sit and shill this to you. You'll find the link for that in my link tree as well. If you use my link and code, you get 5% off of their coffee, which is phenomenal stuff. I love it to death, guys. So with the Coinbase referral, all you got to do is use my link to sign up, deposit $20 into the exchange, and then make your first trade of over $20 or more, and we both get $30. For Kraken, you have to ACH transfer $200 into the account and then trade at least $200 in your first 30 days. And then the reward for doing so there is $75. So by all means, feel free to scan the QR code anytime during the video and start getting that set up for yourself. Lastly, I want to put in a little disclaimer that I am not any type of financial advisor, nor is this any type of financial advice. I do not want you guys watching this video and then taking your hard-earned money and just chucking it into some cryptocurrency project that you have absolutely no idea about. It's not that type of party. If that's what you do, don't say it's because you watched this video and I told you to do it, because I'm not. I recommend you DCA and you buy crypto every day regularly, but I also recommend that you know exactly what it is you're tossing your money into and why, first and foremost. The entire purpose of this project is for peer review of another creator's project where he put $10 a day into Bitcoin every day and $10 a day into a savings account, earning interest. And at the end of the year, his claim was that the crypto was worth more than the bank account, which it was. And you can look at this as a test to see if I can duplicate the exact same results. And fun fact, I did. That being said, I want to get to the bread and butter of this video. I definitely appreciate every bit of your viewership and the fact that you chose to even watch my shit at all. So I'm going to get to the good part, and we're going to see which is worth more. Damn, I really don't have a good fucking intro. Welcome back, everybody. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. It's been a year in the making. Obviously, I've been putting $1 a day into 10 coins for a year, and this is just to check the progress of that. I don't want to just not do an intro. So to tell you a little bit more about this project, I kind of got this idea from, I don't know, I want to say it was TikTok. Somebody on TikTok had done a project similar to this one, or maybe they were just paper trading. But they wanted to see if you put $10 a day into your bank account versus $10 a day into Bitcoin at the end of a year, which one would be more profitable. And it took me a while to, think about it and decide on it. But then once I did, I finally started gearing up and set up a little bit. And it just so happened to be right around my birthday. And so that's what I did this year, was I started rolling out this project. So now that the year is up, I've officially put $365 into 10 coins for a grand total of $3,650. And we're going to see what that adds up to. Right? Do I walk away with $2,000? Do I walk away with 10 grand? All the highs, lows in the middle, all that good jazz. Just wait. There's plenty in this video for you guys later. That being said, I've never
I've done a lot of things and I've made a lot of money in crypto, and I've never done it like this. This was definitely an interesting challenge for me to just like, when you see some of the spikes early on, and like right now, specifically in the market, we're kind of in a very low point. Um, I just like, it gets tempting to just sell off and like take profit or be like, oh, well, this coin I've put $300 in and it's still only at 140 right now. Like, I just keep tossing my money in. Like there's a lot of ups and downs and goods and bads and uglies, but either way, I genuinely do love this shit. I'm all for it, and I can't wait to explain how and why everything kind of moves the way they do, especially when we get into market cycles. So to start off, I guess I'll just, which coins did I choose for this project? We've got Sui, Ethereum, Stacks, Solana, XRP, Polkadot, Atom, Chainlink, Uniswap, and Near. So why did I choose these coins, and why did I, choose to do this whole project in general? First and foremost, I just kind of wanted to DCA a little bit, and I'll get into what DCA is and how that works, but I also wanted to use the DCA process to demonstrate market cycles as well, which I'll also get into relatively soon. This project was originally just kind of for shiggles, but when it came down to picking the coins, I kind of realized that I had an opportunity to make them competition based, and so that's what I did. I don't really want to get too deep into why each of these are broken up the way that they are into the pairs that they are. Each of those will just get its own separate videos, but to speed run what those pairs are specifically, we have Solana and Ethereum, we have Sui and Stacks, we have Polkadot versus Cosmos, and then for the last 4 coins, they're broken into 2 categories, right? One is safe bets, the other is full risk. So Chainlink and Uniswap are my safe bets, and they are kind of competing with my full risk bets, XRP and Near. So we got 3 main competitions as far as just the crypto ecosystem in general, and then we also have like concept beefs, right? So what exactly? So just to reiterate, the main 2 purposes of the video here in this whole project, for one, DCA, dollar cost average buying, and the second point is to demonstrate market cycles. So with dollar cost averaging or DCA buying, you are regularly buying a specified amount of crypto regardless of the price, right? And that's what we've basically done here, is 365 days worth of that. But I want to use the buys and the sells, and we'll get to like the range of how low everything dipped, how high everything dipped, max potential gain, max potential loss, but I want to show you guys the yearly graphs for each of these. So this is one form of a DCA. Another form of a DCA could be, I have $100, maybe let me do $10 buys. Let me do $10 a day every day for 10 days. I've always used Litecoin as an example because, again, it's usually right around $100, somewhere between like 75 and 125, but usually perfectly right between like 90 and 110. So it illustrates what I'm talking about perfectly. If every day I wake up and buy 1 Litecoin, Well, there's going to be days where it costs me $89 to buy one Litecoin. There's going to be days where it's $112 to buy one Litecoin. Or the other form of a DCA, like I said, I could wake up every day and just say, I have $100. Give me whatever that's worth in Litecoin. Right? And at that point, you know, if it's $89 and you buy $100 worth, you're going to get 1.11 Litecoin. You're going to get, one Litecoin and some change. When it's $115 for a Litecoin and you throw 100 at it, you're going to get, 86, like 0.89, whatever Litecoin, you're going to get just shy of a full one because it's over that $100 you're putting in. And I don't know, I love this shit. I really did it for shiggles. I have a lot of fun with this shit. I can't wait to get into the technicals of how it all moved and what all it did, and that's what we're about to get into. That's the whole purpose of this video. Alright, so here's just an example of what a DCA would look like, and it's not really too far off from what we have going for the actual project itself, right? So day one, you bought 10 coins, then 9.6, then 9.4, yada, yada, yada. It kind of adjusts with the price like I was talking about. And at the end of your DCA, you there's, like I said, there's one of two ways you could do it. Either my $100 became how much coin, or how much coin became how much money. And in our case, we're not buying coins by the dollar. Most of them are like $2, $3, $4, or all the way up to $300,000 and $4,000, right? For like Solana and Ethereum. So I went with the first. I have $100. How much coin can I get? And that's what we have done for literally 10 coins. I have $365 into this coin, 10 of them. Now, at the end of the year, for coin A, do I have $285 lose money? Do I have $365 still break even, or is it, pushing up towards 4? Did I profit? That's the whole concept there. I feel like that was the sloppiest rendering of that I possibly could have done. I'm going to try that again, actually.
So, real quick, we're about to get into the stats, but while I've still got us in dark mode for a second, I just want to say that there was a few different ways I could have, laid out this video, and what I ended up going with, I just kind of took each of my 10 coins and stacked them in order from which had the least value to which had the most value. So we're going to start with the coins that ended up being worth the least, and we'll work our way up to who was the biggest performer at the end of the video. So just a heads up, I didn't want you guys to see like 3 L's in a row and think, oh, well, this whole thing's bullshit, or something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to waste too much time on this. Let's jump right into how each of these coins did real quick.
So starting with the least performing coin, we have Stacks. So for the $365 that I put in Stacks, I got 371.54 Stacks, worth about $240 currently. The low for Stacks was 48 cents, and if it stayed there, I guess this, The low for Stacks was 48 cents, and if it would have stayed there, we would have $178.33, whereas the high was $3.02, and if it stayed there, we'd have $1,122.05. Our smallest buy was December 5th, the largest April 7th, and our actual takeaway profit or loss is $120 worth of loss. Stacks is a stakeable coin, so of course I stacked it, and in doing so I made $11 worth of staking rewards through Stacks. Alright, so I'm about to talk absolutely fucking foul on a coin right now. $365 became 114.741 near, worth about $288.80. And I am fucking absolutely glad that that shit rebounded right here at the last second. I'm gonna fucking record that. Okay, I'm gonna make it quick as we talk about Near's bitch ass. $365, bought 114.741 Near, worth $288.80 currently. Now, at its lowest, we have $1.80, and at its highest, $8.25, giving us $206.53 or $158 worth of loss, or $946.61, $582 worth of profit, and a pretty massive range of $740. Now, in the end, we did end up losing $76 all in all, but this was definitely getting ready to be like $160 worth of loss. So I'll take it. You know, no staking reward, but our smallest buy was December 6th, largest buy January 22nd. Fuck this shit. It's already been swapped into Cardano, which it should have just been in the first place. We're gonna act like this 365 days worth of Near never happened, and I'm gonna pretend it was always Cardano. I really wish I could say Polkadot did better, but for $365, we got 86.6597 Polkadot, which right now is worth $360.01. Can't forget that 1 cent. Every little penny counts, guys. Our low and high was $3.02 all the way up to $11.65. So at $3.02, we would have had $261 or $103 worth of loss. Or at $11.65, we would have had $1,009.58, which is $645 worth of profit. Smallest buy December 4th, largest buy June 22nd. And again, this is the last non-profitable coin, just barely, with $5 worth of loss. And it's stakeable, so I did manage to rake in $29.66 worth of staking rewards. Polkadot's been an actual fucking banger. Love it. So, next up we have Atom, or Cosmos, another high yield staking coin. I really like it a lot, and I honestly thought it was going to do a little bit worse than it did. It's been pretty down in the slumps lately, but it managed to make a little recovery, and we're actually $8 in the profit. So a dub's a dub's a dub, right? The low for this guy is going to be $3.39, which would have left us at $278.02, or the high at $10.68 would have left us with $875.92. Max potential loss is going to be $87 worth of loss, $511 worth of profit. Max buy here is going to be December 4th and June 22nd for the largest buy. But I also had a funny thing happen where I was digging through these, and there was like 2 separate occasions where I bought identical increments of Cosmos 24 hours apart, which is like rare as shit. And I thought one of them, I'll throw the screenshots up, but I really thought they were going to be tied for our largest buy or smallest buy or whatever. Again, stakeable coin, high yield stake, obviously. We managed to pull in $29.11 off that. Bueno. Alright, next up we have Uniswap, and I'm really glad that they beat their SEC case. Fuck Gary Gensler and his geriatric Keebler Elf looking ass. I hope he really fucking chokes on his end shirt. Anyway. God damn it. So $365 became 45.3 Uniswap, now worth $439.64. At its lowest, $4.55 per coin, we would have had $206.11. Opposite, at $19.55, we would have had $855.62 for a max potential loss of 159, max potential gain of 521. Our smallest buy being December 8th and largest buy being May 7th. We are again $75 in the profit. This coin doesn't have any staking rewards. Again, I'm just glad that they beat their SEC case. Watching them top out to almost $20 a coin was fucking nuts. And I should have just bailed on it then. But that's okay. I'm honestly glad I have a small mass worth of Uniswap now. It will come in handy in the future. Oh, next up we have good old Solana. And $365 into Solana brought us 2.3571 Solana, worth about $509.44. Low of the market is going to be $95.17. High is going to be $295, which was an all-time high for Solana. Max potential loss of 131, max potential gain of $330. We would have bottomed out at 224.32 and topped out at 695.34. Smallest buy December 8th, largest buy May 7th. Again, $75 worth of profit. And although Solana is stakeable, I just didn't stake it. So no staking rewards, but you totally can if you want. So now we're into the top three. Sui is definitely one of the coins that took me by surprise. Our largest buy was 2 days into the project. So I bought 1.12 Sui that day. And that was the most I ever bought. It just went up and up and up and up and up since. I mean, you just can't beat that with a fucking stick, dude. So yeah, the low at 75 cents, we could have had $111.35. High end would be $5.37, and we would have netted $797.33. But again, just the fact that every single day of this project, this coin has grown, and I have bought less and less of it every time that I've bought it, is fucking nice. That's a really excellent fucking feeling. That's definitely a win. And the next two coins that did better, there were, I think, 3 coins that did better than this. I mean, they schmooved their little ass off too, so we'll get right into that. Alright. I don't know why Ethereum got shit on for like 8 consecutive months and then decided to bounce back right here at the end, but it happened to make it into the top 3, so there's that. $365 bought 0.113 Ethereum, which is now worth $579.68. At the low, $1,386.14 per ETH, we would have had $156.63. Or at the high, $49.55, we would have had $589.16. Max potential loss going to be 209. Max potential gain would have been 230. Our actual takeaway profit was 215. So I mean, like I said, when you look at the graph, I mean, we basically bought every bit of the dip for month after month after month after month after month and watched it rebound. So this is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier in the video. sometimes you'll have bad news that just drops everything and drops everything and drops everything. And the second bad news happens, everyone starts panic selling. So, or I mean, sometimes during correction cycles where like the price will dip from, like with Bitcoin, for example, say like it's been at like 120 or so, like if it bounces from 115 back down to 110, everyone's like, oh, Bitcoin's crashing, and so they'll panic sell, and it might dip as low as like 108, and then it'll have to recorrect and bounce back up to 110 where it should be. Because again, people are fucking dumb. But again, all it takes is one little piece of good news and boom, you're right back to profit. I mean, as soon as the Michael the market goes back upward, you're gravy. You're just waiting for the full recovery on whatever dip you bought, and you're gonna come out the other side clean as fuck. All right, next to last, we have Chainlink. And honestly, I'm super glad that I put this in here. This is one of those like wave 2 coins, like right at the beginning. Like I said, sometimes in wave 1 at the back end of the Bitcoin rally, coins like Chainlink will rally because it's so essential to cryptocurrency and blockchains and Web3 as a whole that it's almost just as much infrastructure as Bitcoin is or Ethereum itself is, you know, like. So I'm really glad that this did as well as it did, because I deadass just invested because I heard one of the people I follow on YouTube talking about some big things that seem like they may or may not even be happening. Like I made a point earlier in the video, anytime you see an influencer telling you, oh, you need to buy this, you need to buy this, you need to buy this, it's going to, yeah, like definitely avoid that. But that's not exactly what happened. I was watching a video about, I believe, stacks, and the guy in the video had just like barely mentioned in passing, like, oh, and Chainlink seems like it's gearing up to do something big this year, and like just for shiggles I threw this coin in here, and my $365 bought 25.3268 Chainlink, worth $593. Like it basically 2x'd. And I mean, at one point it did. It touched $875.92 when it was $30.94 per coin. At its lowest, $9.28 per coin, it was $278.02. So, I mean, 419 max potential gain, max potential loss of 130, and we walked away with $229 of profit clean. So, I mean, you genuinely can't fucking beat that with a stick. And the fact that this, like I said, was over $800 is just wild. This was only $365 that I put in. So before it was even $365 in, if you look at the spike, this touched over $800. That's fucking nutty. All right, lastly, we have XRP. XRP blew the fuck up over this last year, honestly. $365 became $265.353 XRP, now worth $776. And I mean, it's realistically for the last like month been floating around like the 880 mark, like between 840 and 880. It like just within this last week dipped below 8 finally like this. So I mean, I'm not really too mad at this, and like last day of the project, we're a little low, but I'm honestly calling this $800 of profit. Or not profit, I'm just calling this $800, win or loss, you know? Market low was 49 cents, and if it stayed there, we would have had $130.02 for this 365. Or at the top of the market, it would have been, again, $971.19. So XRP was a fucking schmacker this year. Max potential loss would have been 235. Max potential gain is 606. Like I said, just shy of like a 3x. It's wild. Like 200% increase is nuts. Our actual takeaway profit was $411. Smallest buy July 21st at the top of the market, and November 3rd. I remember actually having a small little celebration because XRP had finally dipped low enough to where I could buy 2 of them for my dollar. And I mean, that's a goal I was chasing from September, October, all the way into November, and finally achieved it, only for the market to fully rally the rest of the way behind it up to like $3 or so on average. So, I mean, God forbid this hits $3.15 again, we in there. So realistically, all that leaves for me to do now is kind of go over what the entire project's numbers are. And I think, okay, so just to wrap this up before my camera dies, I'll pull up the page that I'm looking at here and put it probably on the screen for you guys to see. But there's really 3 different ways I could have broken this video down and delivered it. But I ended up kind of just going for who ended up being the greatest total value at the end. But I mean, I totally 100%, like, let's see, I could have went based off of the range. So like some of these coins that started at 50 cents and went all the way up to like $3, like SUI, XRP, you know, I mean, those have huge ranges. And if, you know, I think like if every stacks I bought stayed at minimum price, you know, like stacks is another one of those. So we could have sorted them by range, we could have sorted them like we did by the dollar amount at the end, or we could have even sorted them by like max potential gain, right? And I mean, if you look at max potential gain, Polkadot was a heavy schmacker. Stacks would have been on top of the whole portfolio at that point, because it could have capped out at $1,122. I mean, $1,100 off a 40-cent coin isn't bad at all. For it to, you know, I mean, it went to $3 with SUI, but when SUI came back, Stacks didn't. And so like that kind of, I would put SUI more in the front half of wave 2, and Stacks would be in the latter half of wave 2 before you get into the wave 3. So like I said, I might also go ahead and pull up the graphs and kind of get into those. But for the most part, I think I'm just going to wrap this video up, and I'll just save all that for like the deep dive videos. I will be breaking down like the competitions between each of these coins and breaking down each coin and why I put it in the project in separate videos. So just be on the lookout for those. I've got like 3 other videos I'm trying my best not to neglect, but this was the only video I have that's really time constrained, because it's, you know, one birthday to this birthday, and then I mean, I don't want you guys to have to wait a week for me to get this video out. I'll let you guys in and let you know it's already been 2 days past my birthday. Today's the 11th, so hopefully I can have this out no later than like the 13th. But I'm going to try and I guess get to that before this camera dies. Real quick, now that we've went over DCA, I do want to talk about market cycles. We'll probably have to do a deep dive video on this, but for a second here, I'm going to clear off this whiteboard. Market cycles kind of tend to happen in 4 waves. Right? So you have, well, we'll go ahead and wave 1, wave 2, which is kind of separated, wave 3, which is kind of separated, and back to 4, which isn't separated. So wave 1 of the market cycle, and I'm not just talking about one of them specifically, the entire revolving door of crypto market cycles goes like this. The first thing that's going to move, whether it be up or down, is going to be Bitcoin, okay? That is wave one. Bitcoin is the all-father to everything. Whatever it does, the market shall do, period. At the very, very back end of wave one, sometimes very, very critical networks and protocols will rise with it, like Ethereum will, Solana or Chainlink will sometimes, but for the most part, those, again, necessary protocols, critical crypto infrastructure protocols make up the first half of wave two. These are necessary altcoins, right? So this is going to be coins like Ethereum, Polkadot, Solana, Chainlink, and you'll notice all of these are in the dollar a day project, right? The back end of wave two is going to be the less necessary altcoins. So coins like Atom would be on this list, Cosmos. I'd say a lot of your DEX coins are going to be late wave two. So coins like Jupiter, right? Coins like Aerodrome, Binance, those are going to be, Binance might be more of like a first half of wave two, but you get what I'm saying. Like DEX coins, really niche, like Avalanche kinda is going to be here, AVAX, and a lot, like anything that branches from Avalanche into your Web3 game, like all of those are here at best, or they're in the unnecessary altcoins. So this is just super niche. Like I said, this is going to be your Web3 gaming. This is going to be your scalability network that is minting NFTs or whatever. It's like has a leg or two, but just barely. It's going to be a lot of those unnecessary altcoins. And then the back end of wave three will be meme coins. And I don't mean all of them. I specifically mean like after literally all of the essential crypto markets have run their course and they're getting ready to correct, the last thing you will see rally is coins like Shiba Inu, Doge, right? The very tippy tops. Pepe, that Pepe survived a great filter. I think 2 or 3 great filters now. Like the utmost stable meme coins, which are still worth literally dog shit nothing, right? Those are the back end of wave 3, and wave 4 is always the pump and dump shills. Stay away from anything in wave 4. This is going to be your Haktua coin. This is going to be Zootopia. This is going to be anything you see an influencer telling you should be buying into because it's going to the moon and all the hype train bullshit. That's tier 4. They say, well, look, Bitcoin went up. All these others went up. Now, Gorilla Dog Fart coin is going to the moon next. And they all just run it as long as they fucking possibly can. And then the second the hype dies out and the coins dump, they take their profit and they smack it right back into Bitcoin or some other wave 2 coin. They take all your fucking money. You're fucked. You're holding Haktua still. Right? And then everything corrects itself and we start right back again at Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's going to correct and it's going to decide whether it's going to go up from here or down from here. And the market will follow. The cycle repeats, so on and so forth. And you'll kind of see that illustrated. And I'll kind of pull up the year-long graphs and kind of point to some points along the way where it's just like, you can see boom, 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 all the way up. And then a little bit of bad news, everything's back down. Everything's waiting for the slightest little bit of good news to come back, and boom, it recovers. And that's the other biggest part of this this experiment here is to illustrate that, because again, for better, for worse, good, bad, or ugly, especially with coins like Near, every day for 365 days, I have bought $1 worth of each of these 10 coins.
So, did we win? For the $3,650 I put in, I walked away with $4,680.61. If every single coin would have stayed at its lowest, our max potential loss would have been $1,866.42, leaving us with $1,783.58. Our max potential gain was $4,997.19, leaving us walking away with $8,647.19. The total takeaway at the end came to $1,030.61. So let's push those numbers to the side for a second and talk about what $3,650 would do if you put it into a bank account. Now, my bank sent me a letter a while back saying that they offer the third highest interest rate on their high yield savings accounts in the nation at 3.85%. And I about pissed myself laughing because I had Polkadot staking at 13.65 and Atom staking at 16.53%, plus Stacks staking at 9%. So if we do the math for $3,650 times 3.85%, that gives us $140. And when you add that to our $3,650, you walk away with $3,790.53. So when you net in the $29 worth of Polkadot rewards, the $29 worth of Cosmos rewards, and then the $11 worth of Stacks rewards, you can go ahead and say we pulled in $1,100 or so. So is it more valuable to hold cryptocurrency than it is to hold money in a high yield savings account? According to these numbers, 7 out of 10 times, yes. How much more profitable? Well, when you divide the $1,100 by the 10 coins, that puts us at about $110 on average that it's more profitable to hold cryptocurrency than it is to hold it in your bank account. You're welcome. This video has taken me entirely too fucking long to make. I am absolutely fucking exhausted. I had a magnificent time though. I really do appreciate you guys all watching. And this is where I'm going to cap it. I can't wait to catch you guys in the next one.